This is News Live on Viewer Television. I am John Matake. The headlines. NIMED warns of flight disruption as dust haze looms in 12 northern cities. Abuja Teachers Union vow to continue strike action until government pays owed salaries. Plus, Sergei Lavrov says Russia doesn't want war but will defend its interests. Now, President Muhammadu Buhari has expressed regret for not visiting Zamfara State as earlier planned on Thursday due to the inclement weather conditions. The president made his feelings known in a special broadcast to the people of Zamfara on Thursday evening. The President Buhari reiterates his administration determination to rid the state of its activities of bandits and terrorists, directed security agencies to sustain an onslaught against the criminal elements. He reassured citizens that the federal government, in collaboration with Zamfara state government, will continue to ensure peace and stability in the state.
My dear people of Zamfara State, it pains me that I can no longer be with you today as I had planned. I had just finished what I came to do in Sokoto at the Bua Cement facility and looking forward to meeting you. I have been told that the trip cannot hold anymore because of bad weather, which has made it impossible for the helicopter to fly to Gusau from Sokoto. I understand how you feel about this development, but I know that you will agree with me that Allah knows best. I particularly sympathize with your governor, Bello Matolle, and his cabinet, who have put everything in place to make the visit a successful one. I look forward to a more weather-friendly period when I will visit you. Security agencies are to sustain the onslaught against terrorists, restrict cross-border boundary infiltrations, and all unauthorized access to the gold mines in the state. The federal government and the Zamfara state government are working to ensure that peace returns to all parts of the state in the shortest possible time, and we expect all citizens to cooperate and support the armed forces and other security agencies.
The Nigerian police says it will on February 1st begin physical and credential screening of applicants who completed the 2021 online registration for recruitment into the constable cadre. Police spokesman Frank Mba disclosed this in a statement in Abuja. He said that the screening will be conducted by the force in conjunction with the Police Service Commission. Mba says the exercise slated to commence on February 1st will end on February 6th at the designated venues in states across the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory. According to him, all applicants are to proceed to their respective states of origin and appear at the various screening centers in their clean white t-shirts and shorts. He said other mandatory basic screening requirements were 2 white flat files with recent passport photographs attached and national identity number. The latest weather warning from the Central Forecast Office of the Nigerian Meteorological Management Agency indicates that about 12 northern states will be involved in dust haze that will reduce visibility, disrupt flight operations. The document made available to newsmen in Abuja by an official of the agency listed the affected cities to include Maiduguri, Nguru, Pochiskum, Duse, Gombe, Yola, Bauchi, Katsina, Kaduna, Zaria, Kano, and Sokoto. According to the CFO document, thick dust haze with horizontal visibility values of less than 1,000 meters is expected over cities in the coming days. Now, the FCT Chief Judge, Justice Hussein Baba Yusuf, has sworn in members of the Area Council Election Tribunal. The tribunal, made up of 2 groups with 3 members in each group, as inaugurated in Abuja. The Area Council Election Appeal Tribunal has Justice Suleiman Balgore as its chairman, with Justice Yusuf Halilu and Justice Jude Onwobuzi as member, while the FCT Area Council Election Tribunal has Munirat Onyekan as chairperson, with Bala Ndajuo and Kimi Apa as members. According to Baba Yusuf, in line with Section 135 and 136 at the Electoral Act as amended, Justice Bulgari, in his response on behalf of other members of the Election Tribunal, expressed delight in the trust reposed in them and promised that they will do their best.
I know that the members have been carefully chosen based on your integrity and attitude to work. I therefore have no doubt that as you go out to the field there, you will deliver justice in all the cases that may be coming before you. You will listen patiently and you will decide wisely as cases are presented before you. In the course of the assignment, there could be one form of temptation or the other. But like I have said, I do not have doubt about the integrity of those of you that have been chosen on this assignment. So it is expected, therefore, that you would live above board and you'll be able to withstand the challenges that go with this type of assignment.
I want to sincerely thank your Lordship for giving us this opportunity to serve. We are highly honored. We know we are chosen out among many others that are equally competent to do the job. Just like my Lord has rightly said, it is a onerous assignment which we have been involved in one way or the other in the past. That my Lord has reposed absolute confidence in us again to do this job. You can only say thank you, and thank you.
That was outpour of encomium and accolades in Maribalua local government area of Adamawa State as the member representing Ganye Jada, Maribalua and Tongo Federal Constituency, Abdulrazak Namdas, distributed 5 sport utility vehicles to district heads. The exercise was an offshoot of a similar activity which took place 2 weeks ago in Ganye Chiefdom, where all the 18 district heads each got a unit of the SUV. Acknowledging the gesture, the Lamido of Adamawa, His Excellency Barkindo Mustafa, thanked Namdas for the show of solidarity and goodwill to the traditional institutions. The Director General of Namdas Campaigns Organization, Abdurrahman Shaibu, said the gesture is a show of Namdas' spiritedness and solidarity to traditional institutions.
We came to do today is in continuation of what we did 2 weeks ago in Ganye, where the honorable member representing Mayo Balwa, Jada, Ganye, Tongo, Honorable Abdulrazak Namdas, Chairman House Committee on Army, and also our contestant for governorship in APC 2023, where he gave out vehicles to the district heads. Looking at the role the district heads play, especially in terms of security, and him being the Chairman House Committee on Army, he deemed it fit that he should give them vehicles so that they will have mobility, so that when something happens, they can be able to go there and do whatever assessment they need to do. And also they can be able to travel to their respective domains so that they can be able to report to the emirs whatever they have, whenever there is problem or something. The two weeks ago when we did the empowerment, there were all the sewing machines, grinding machines, some water pumps, and all those things that were distributed. It's something that we have been doing. Hospitals were commissioned. We went around last year to commission hospitals. We went around to commission a block of classrooms. So many things have been done in this constituency. So what do you do? How do you know somebody is good? Look at his constituency. What has he done for his constituency? He has done a lot for his own constituency. So definitely it can be replicated for Adamawa State.
Kaduna Chambers of Commerce and Industry, Mines and Agriculture sought the support of News Agency of Nigeria for coverage of its forthcoming 43rd International Trade Fair. The Katsima made the appeal for support when a delegation of the Chamber's executives paid a courtesy visit to the managing director of NAN, Buki Ponle in Abuja. The delegation was led by Katsima President Suleiman Alihu, who was represented by the first Deputy President Ishaya Idi. According to him, NAN has always supported the chamber over years, especially in the coverage of its trade fairs, giving it maximum coverage for which the chamber is grateful. Aliu said that the 10-day event will feature an official opening ceremony on Saturday, February 26, and trade fair seminar and business roundtable on blue economy. Responding to the MD of NAN, commended the chairman for its contribution to the economy and the growth of the nation.
Comments to brief you on the 4th Kaduna International Trade Fair, which is scheduled to hold on the 25th of February to 6th of March 2022, and to also let you know some of the flagship events during the fair. At the same time, we seek for areas of support, partnership, cooperation, especially, you know the readership, you know who and how to get to the root of the places you want the information to reach. The theme of the forthcoming fair is re-strategizing Nigerians' economy for global competitiveness.
One of the powerhouses of economic development, apart from the politics and political issues that shape and reshape our country as a whole, Kaduna still remains vibrant, and it will continue to be so because of the dynamics of the people that make up the state. If not for the security challenges, the economic challenges that we are having, Kaduna's Chamber of Commerce or the trade fair itself could have been something else that the whole world will come to assemble every year. But we pray that there will be that time when the whole world will converge on Kaduna every year to celebrate and take part in the affairs of the trade fair.
Now, the operatives of the Kano State Hisba Board have arrested 25 shisha smokers, 16 males and 9 females. The public relations officer of the board, Lawan Ibrahim Fagi, in a statement, disclosed that it confiscated an unspecified number of shisha wraps and over 100 pipes from smokers at popular joints along Lamido Street, Central Hotel, Falatino Hotel, and E7 Restaurant in the metropolis as part of efforts to enforce the ban on smoking in the state. The PRO noted that the board will continue to raid hotels, restaurants, and other special gatherings in the state. Lawan added that the State House of Assembly and Governor Ganduje had signed and passed a bill banning the smoking of shisha into law and forwarded the same to the board for enforcement. He assured that the board would ensure effective enforcement of law across the 44 local government areas of the state. Now, when News Live returns, primary school teachers in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, had begun an indefinite strike over some pending arrears. Details of this and more comes to you after the break. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is News Live on Viewer Television. Now a recap of our top stories. NIMED warns of the flight disruption as dust haze looms in 12 northern cities. Abuja Teachers Union vows to continue strike action until government pays old salaries. Sergei Lavrov says Russia doesn't want war but will defend its territories. Primary school teachers in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, had begun an indefinite strike over some pending arrears. Chairman of the Nigerian Union of Teachers in the Federal Capital Territory, Stephen Kanabai, has declared that unless the teachers began receiving credit alerts in their bank accounts, they will not call off the ongoing strike. Similarly, Acting Secretary of the NUT, Margaret Jethro, said the strike resolution was due to the non-commitment and lack of political will by the 6 area council chairmen to settle outstanding entitlement of the LEE primary school teachers in the FCT. According to her, the council chairmen have refused to offset teachers' promotion arrears from 2014 to 2018 and failed to implement 2020 and 2021 annual increments. However, the chairman, while speaking with newsmen, hinted that they will not call off the strike based on mere words of commitments. Governor Ahmadu Fintiri of Adamawa State has applauded his counterpart in Oyo State, Seyi Makinde, for fulfilling his campaign promises to the people. Fintiri gave the commendation at the commissioning of the newly dualized 9.7-kilometer Oke-Ogun Poli-Sake Township Elisha Ibaruba route. The reports.
Special guest of honor, Governor Ahmadu Fintiri of Adamawa State, at the commissioning of the newly dualized 9.7 kilometers Oke-Ogun Poli-Sake Township, Elisha Ibaruba Road, Oyo State.
I bring to you the unlimited facilitation and warm regards of the government and good people of Adamawa State. Seyi is the first-time governor of PDP who is passionate about Oyo State. Seyi is so much in a hurry to change the fortune of his people for good. I must confess, the quantum of project I've seen in Oyo State has reinforced my belief in Seyi.
In his remarks, Makinde said he would not play politics with the infrastructural development of the state. According to him, the aim of the project is to enhance socio-economic development and play a major role in engineering a modern Oyo State.
When we say we're engineering a modern Oyo State, this is exactly what we mean. We mean we are designing and building a modern Oyo State. The foundation of that design is a proper road network. This is why we will not ignore any viable road projects started by our predecessors. And I'm saying it today. I'm giving them the credit. They started this road. And we know it is possible for us to play politics with this road. But we will play politics with the development of our people. Oke-Ogun is our bread basket and agricultural capital. And that is why we return Oisada to Shaki Township.
A non-governmental organization known as Veteran Outreach Initiative on Wednesday showed gratitude to some retired military personnel as part of the 2022 Armed Forces Remembrance Day celebration. Organizers of the event says the initiative is aimed at supporting the veterans who made sacrifices in serving and protecting the country. Ruth Emmanuel completes the report.
Seated in this hall are retired military personnel who had served in various capacities in the past, protecting the territorial integrity of the country. After the grand celebration nationwide, a non-governmental organization is reaching out to these retired but not tired veterans. Adamawa State Coordinator of the foundation, Dr. Krishna Kaka, said they understood and relate to what veterans are presently going through after their meritorious service to the nation, hence the need for the support.
We know the plight of our veterans in Nigeria has not been something that we can smile about. You know, a lot of our veterans, once they leave the service, their health condition, their living condition, everything drops. So it is on the backdrop of this, you know, every day we have Armed Forces Remembrance Day. So the initiator of this program, the IBI Foundation, thought it was necessary, you know, to coin a program like this. And this program has been going on since on the 15th in Abuja, where it was rolled out, and is going on ongoing in many other states around the Federation.
As part of the event, gift boxes were presented to the veterans to appreciate them for a job well done while serving the nation. Some of the beneficiaries expressed their appreciation towards the gesture shown to them and also spoke about challenges bedeviling veterans in the country and called on government and well-spirited individuals to come to their aid.
I feel happy, I feel pleased, I feel humble, I feel glorified, and I thank the Chief of Naval Staff for able to give this highest reward to those who deserve to be given what is they have retired after the service.
Okay, it's for them to reach out to the veterans to support them and give them support, because the person is Ibrahim Babaina, so he's a retired lieutenant commander. He just decided to do this thing out of his will to see what he can do for the veterans. So that is the aim of it, and reach them both medical-wise and otherwise.
Armed Forces Remembrance Day is being celebrated annually on January 15th to honor veterans and also as a medium for soliciting financial, moral and material support for families of fallen heroes. Ruth Emmanuel, Viewer Television News, Yola.
The wife of the Taraba State Governor, Anna Ishaku, says education plays a significant role in promoting peace. The governor's wife, who was represented by the Commissioner of Basic and Secondary Education, Johanna Jegem, said this while declaring open a two-day seminar for stakeholders in the education sector in Jalingo. The reports.
The Commissioner of Basic and Secondary Education, Johannes Jigem, is representing the wife of the governor, Anna Ishaku, at this two-day seminar for stakeholders in the education sector in Jalingo. Anna Ishaku wants the participants to make positive contributions on how best education can be promoted to boost peaceful coexistence in the society.
Education plays a very vital role in terms of development. That is why today we are coming together as stakeholders in the education sector for us to be able to brainstorm together and see the role education will play in terms of peace, in terms of development.
In her keynote address, the Monitoring and Evaluation Officer, Hope Afresh Foundation, Taraba, Sarah Ibi, stressed the need for the actualization of the fundamental human rights to free education. She lamented that UNICEF reports indicate that 63% of women are illiterate compared to 41% of educated men. She calls for a balance.
And we are not just meeting because it's urgent. We are doing that because we want our people to be aware of their rights, that they can report and they will be heard. This is one of it. We have the National Standard Operating Procedure on Gender-Based Violence, the national document. This is extracted from there. This document tells you silence no more, referral pathways for gender-based violence, synergy through partnership.
Sarah appreciated the governor's wife for organizing the event to mark the 2022 International Day of Education with the theme Changing the Course, Transforming Education. Susie Basho, the administration officer of Hope Afresh Foundation, Taraba State, says knowledge is power, remarking that education offers children a ladder out of poverty. The press secretary to the governor's wife, Mercy Bashi, sued for the creation of a solid digital transformation that will support learning.
It is the integration of digital technology into all areas of learning and fundamentally changing Commission.
She applauds the creation of electronic portal learning development by Hope Afresh Foundation Taraba last year depicts ways of making learning easy in the digital age. The Director of Planning, Research and Statistics, Ministry of Basic and Secondary School Education, Gottlof Jacobs, says education is an essential tool to eradicate poverty, reduce child mortality and core population. Linda Guana, VIEWERTV News, Jalingo.
The former governor of Abia State and senator representing Abia North in the National Assembly, Uzo Kalu, has pleaded for an out-of-court settlement with plaintiff Aliu Ladan, who sued him to court over his reluctance to honor an agreement to declare interest for the seat of presidents comes 2023 general election. Recall that Aliu Ladan filed a suit with case number BA/331/2021 over the breach of agreement by Uzo Kalu before Justice Mohammed A. Sambo at High Court 3 in Bauchi. Our Bauchi State correspondent Al Hassan completes the story.
The suit against former governor of Abia State and serving Senator Uzo Kalu was filed by one Aliu Ladan and Co. It was presided by Justice Mohammed Sambo of the Bauchi State High Court 3. The plaintiff was challenging former Governor Uzo Kalu for being reluctant to honor and to declare interest to contest for the presidential seat comes 2023 general election. However, counsel to the defendant, Barrister Mukhtar Abubakar, says his client pleaded with the court for more time to enable him settle the case out of court.
So today, we announced to the court that the defendant proposed for settlement of the matter out of court. And the court agreed with us to take a date for us to be able to sit down and see if we can settle the matter amicably.
Meanwhile, counsel to the plaintiff, Awal Ibrahim, says his client is prepared for settlement out of court if the defendant would declare his interest to become the president of the country.
What my client wants is for the defendant to fulfill his part of the bargain, to aspire for the presidency of this country. You understand? Based on the understanding they have with my client. Since he is on his own volition asking for the matter to be resolved out of court, we will hear from him, and after that we are going to report to the court, God's willing, on the next agenda.
However, on his part, Aliu Ladan, who is accusing Senator Uzo Kalu for failure to honor the agreement, has this to say.
There was a time we had an agreement with him at least a month back, and he promised us that he's going to contest for the president of Nigeria, considering the present situations of Nigeria. But unfortunately, gradually he just decided, maybe he's become reluctant on the issue. That's why we decided to take this action against him.
Why do you take the action?
We want the court to force him or to compel him to respond to our agreement in order to save the future of our country.
The case is adjourned to the 17th of February for further hearing. Awal Hassan, VIEWERTV News, Bauchi.
Asiwaju Ahmed Tinubu support group has called on the Northeast region to support the presidential candidacy of Tinubu in the 2023 general election. Our Maiduguri correspondent was at the inauguration of the Northeast campaign movement in Maiduguri and now reports.
Following the interest indicated by the former Lagos State Governor to run for Nigeria's president office in 2023, the Tinubu support group are in Maiduguri to set up a campaign team that will oversee and mobilize grassroots support for the politician. Politicians, government officials, as well as supporters across the state and within Borno were in attendance to witness the inauguration of the Northeast Asiwaju Ahmed Tinubu Support Group. The national chairman of the Tinubu Support Group said Nigerians won't regret to have a trustworthy leader like Tinubu. He urged the new executives to build confidence in their constituencies.
We all keep in Nigeria's corners complaining that Nigeria is big and Nigeria is down. Things need to improve. So, we from AATST is joining us with the people of the Northeast to provide a solution for Nigeria come 2023. We are seeking your support to ensure that our leader, Asiwaju Ahmed to become the next president come 2023.
Other guests pledged their loyalty in fulfilling the mandate in gathering greater support for Tinubu's presidential ambition.
We need more help from the federal government if the gains against insecurity and unemployment are to continue. We know that an Asiwaju Ahmed Tinubu will strengthen and secure the Northeast and our economy. That is why we support him. That is why we will support him, and that is why we will continue to support him. Ahmed Tinubu.
My expectation is this. I hope and pray that when we begin to mobilize, because our immediate mandate is to knock on 50 billion or more dollars. When we begin to mobilize, I will also urge and request that we mobilize beyond 50 billion. We mobilize beyond the target, because we want to situation that at the end of 2023, we have Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the President, Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Bitrus Kuruti, Viewer Television News, Maiduguri.
Now let's take you to the floors of All Progressive Congress APC as different groups from the party continue with the endorsement of candidates for the national chairmanship position. In a press conference at the Arewa House, Kaduna, the spokesperson Northern APC National Front, Audu Ayuba Hassan, made a declaration in support of the current Minister of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs, Honorable George Akume, as the rightful candidate for the APC national chairmanship position. Following the minister's intention and the declaration of the seats in the House for good leadership, the group believe if George Akume emerges as the national chairman of the All Progressive Congress, his prowess and know-how will bring remedies to the crisis bedevouring the party, and with his track record obtained from previous positions held, his leadership will bring about bridge building and unity among party members.
You can see one of the greatest challenges confronting our nation is leadership. At any level of development, local, state, or federal, a reliable, well-informed learning is urgently needed. His Excellency Senator Dr. George Akume, the Honorable Minister of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs, is the leader of APC. Needs at the moment. Available data shows that His Excellency Senator Dr. George Akume is an outstanding personality who has the capacity and properly lead our party. I hold the view that the APC will be in safe hands if he emerges as the next national chairman.
The Governor of Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, has urged manufacturers and the construction industry to bring down prices of building materials in the interest of Nigerian masses. Emefiele made the appeal in a statement at the inauguration of the 3 million metric ton cement plant by the Boa Group in Sokoto. The CBN governor urged cement manufacturers to pay more attention to satisfying domestic demand. According to him, the sector is one of the major sectors in the economy, helping to create employment, and boosting growth in the country. He further assured the manufacturers of the Apex Bank determination to always provide the needed support to improve their capacity. World's richest man Elon Musk lost the total wealth of Aliko Dangote and more on Thursday as his fortune dwindled by 10.7% after trading hours in the United States. Musk, who is the founder of car manufacturer Tesla and satellite company SpaceX, saw his wealth decline following a dip in Tesla share value, which fell by 11.17% to end trading at $829.10. against its opening of $933.36. This dip caused Musk to lose about $24.5 billion from his wealth. According to Forbes Billionaire Index, which now estimates the tech boss fortune to be $218.3 billion as of Thursday. He, however, retained his position on the wealthiest person, ranking sitting comfortably above Arnold and family owners of the LVMH, whose fortune was put at $193.6 billion, making him the second richest. Musk's about $24.5 billion is almost double of what Forbes estimated Dangote to be worth, after the Africa's richest man also lost substantial amount to the tune of $856 million from his wealth. A total of 128 awardees that emerged as successful bidders in the 2020 marginal field bid round have made complete and partial payment for signature bonuses in the oil field, the federal government revealed. It also disclosed that 33 awardees did not make payments during the 45 days window given to successful bidders to pay the required signature bonuses for the oil fields. As such, had lost their awards to suitable qualified reserve bidders. The government further disclosed that it had so far garnered about 174 billion naira from the marginal oil field bid round program. It disclosed this in Abuja at a meeting with the marginal field awardees and lesser holders, where the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission outlined the policy position of the government on the 2020 FMBR. The Nigerian Exchange Limited has concluded plans to hold its annual 2021 market recap and 2022 outlook in collaboration with Resonance Capital. The virtual event, which will hold Thursday, February 3rd, will facilitate conversations around the exchange, the larger Nigerian capital market, and the economy as a whole, with presentation from the Chief Executive Officer, NGX, Temi Popola, and Global Chief Economist, Head of the Macro Strategy, RENCAP, Charles Robertson. A statement from the NGX noted that there will also be a fireside chat with the Director General Budget Office of the Federation, Ben Akobueze, on the growth drivers for the 2022 financial and budgetary perspective. In line with the previous years, the event will provide an opportunity for participants to interact with speakers and the management of the exchange to gain more information on what stakeholders can look forward to. Now, Moscow doesn't want war, but will not allow its interests to be ignored. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov says as tension continues to simmer over Ukraine, the West has accused Russia of massing about 100,000 troops on the border with Ukraine and has threatened unprecedented sanctions if Moscow invades. His remarks come after the United States and NATO responded to security demands put forward by Russia in exchange for the escalation of tension over Ukraine. The demand includes a ban on Ukraine joining NATO on the new military bases in former Soviet countries. Lavrov says that the U.S. response contained grains of rationality on secondary issues as the introduction of further Western sanctions, such as the personal measures against President Vladimir Putin. Cutting Russia from the SWIFT payment system will be the equivalent of severing ties with Russia.
Грубо на наши интересы, игнорировать наши интересы мы тоже не позволим. Но американцы, как вы знаете, и натовцы больше месяца изучали наши предельно простые предложения, заключенные в проектах договора с Вашингтоном и соглашения с Североатлантическим альянсом, а мы получили только позавчера ответы, которые, в таком западном стиле наводит тень на плетень во многом, но там есть рациональные зерна, как я уже говорил, по второстепенным.
Chinese are traveling to their hometowns for the Lunar New Year, the country's biggest family holiday, despite the government plea to stay where they are as Beijing tries to contain coronavirus outbreaks. The holiday, which starts on Wednesday, usually is the biggest annual movement of humanity, as hundreds of millions of people who migrated for work visit their parents and sometimes spouses and children they left behind or travel abroad. Some 260 million people traveled earlier since the holiday rush started January 17. Less than before the pandemic, up to 46% over last year. Official data shows that the government forecast a total of 1.2 billion trips during the holiday season, up to 36% from a year ago. The Chinese capital, Beijing, is tightening control to contain coronavirus outbreak ahead of the next week's opening of the Winter Olympics and a high-profile prestige event. Now, hundreds of traditional fishermen living just outside the Peruvian capital fear their livelihoods are ruined following an oil split caused by volcanic eruption thousands of miles away. Authorities call the split caused by an eruption on the other side of the Pacific near Tunga the worst ecological disaster in Lima in recent times. Traditional fishermen in Ventolina district to the north of Lima port in Calu protested outside the gates of the Pampilla refinery owned by Spanish energy giant Repsol, demanding compensation for the split that occurred as freak waves hit tanker during the offload on Saturday. It is an area teeming with sold lunar drum and Peruvian groans commonly used in local delicacy and ceviche and a marinated raw fish dish that Peru is famous for. Traditional fishermen use small-scale, low-technology, low-capital practices, mostly from the beach or rocks. The few that own small boats only travel short distances along shoreline. You are still watching News Live on Viewer Television. Now we bring to you sports news right after the break. Do stay tuned.
And thank you for joining us. And on sports, now 2 African Cup of Nations matches will be relocated from Japama Stadium in Douala to Amadou Ahidjo Stadium in Yaoundé, the Confederation of African Football has revealed. 1 quarterfinal and the February 2nd semi-final will be moved to Cameroonian capital city. CAF President Patrick Motsepe says the quarterfinal, due to be played at the Olembe Stadium in Yaoundé, will be switched to the Amadou Ahidjo Stadium after a deadly crush which killed 8 people. The decision to shift that match away from the 60,000 capacity stadium was confirmed after Motsepe hosted a meeting with the tournament organizers. The second semi-final, to be played February 3rd, is still scheduled at Olembe Stadium for the time being. Also, Nigeria will be attending her second Winter Olympic Games in Beijing next month, featuring just an athlete. For the first time in history of the Winter Olympics, Nigeria will field a cross-country skier named Samuel Ikpefan at the Beijing 2022 Games. Nigeria made her debut in 2018 at the Pyongyang Games in South Korea. Ikpefan, born in Annemasse in French Alps, activated his nationality switch in 2016 to enable him become the first Nigerian skier to qualify for the Winter Olympics and the first male athlete to make the Games. President of the Nigerian Olympic Committee, Habu Gumel, expressed his happiness that Nigeria's flag will once again be hoisted at the Winter Olympics, having made her debut in 2018. Now, lastly, Los Angeles Lakers sculpture on Wednesday marked the 2nd anniversary of Kobe and Gianna Bryant's death with a statue on the site of the helicopter crash in Calabasas, California. Dan Medina built this a 160-pound statue of the NBA star and his 13-year-old daughter, and erected it over the site of the crash that killed them and 7 other people in the morning of January 26, 2020. The statue depicts Bryant in his Los Angeles Lakers uniform, placing his hand on his daughter's shoulder and Gianna holding a basketball. Medina inscribed on the statue base the name of all 9 people who died. He also inscribed the phrase, "Heroes come and go, but legends are forever." Recall that Kobe and Gianna were killed when their private helicopter crashed while they were traveling to a teen basketball tournament at the Kobe Mamba Sports Academy near Thousand Oaks, California. And that's all we can take on sports. Thank you for watching.
Thank you, NS Mbe. And that's all on News Live. But before we go, a recap of our top stories. NIMED warns of flight disruption as dust haze looms in 12 northern cities. Abuja Teachers Union vow to continue strike action until government pays old salaries. Plus, Sergei Lavrov says Russia doesn't want war but will defend its interests. Many thanks for watching. I am John Martike. Please stay tuned and enjoy the rest of our programs. Bye for now.